The 2015 Atlantic hurricane season doesn't officially begin until June 1st, and in most years really doesn't get going until August. But it's always hurricane season somewhere on Earth, and if you guessed the southern hemisphere right now simply because summer is giving way to autumn there, you'd only be partly right. But I will start in the southern hemisphere, where tropical activity is focused in three fairly distinct areas. One is the Southwest Indian Basin, a large patch of water that stretches from Africa across Madagascar into the middle of the South Indian Ocean. A second area is known as the Southeast Indian Australian Basin and includes the warm waters north of the land down under. Finally, the Australian Southwest Pacific Basin stretches east from Australia across the international dateline and includes many South Pacific islands such as Fiji and Samoa. In all these basins, tropical season begins in late October and early November, peaks from mid-January to early March, and then ends in May. The term hurricane is not used in these areas. Instead, hurricanes are just called tropical cyclones or severe tropical cyclones, and in an average year, 6 to maybe a dozen such storms form in each of these basins. The one that's made big news this year is severe tropical cyclone Pam in mid-March, here chugging southward with the clockwise spin characteristic of southern hemisphere storms. With wind gusts above 150 miles per hour, Pam skirted the island nation of Vanuatu, where the reality series Survivor was filmed in 2004. Here on the left are two of the islands in Vanuatu before Pam went through, the lush tropical vegetation giving a dark green appearance. On the right are those islands 3 days afterwards. The storm's fierce winds downed many trees, stripped vegetation, and coated leaves in salt spray, leaving the islands with a brownish hue. Now, if we head across the equator into the western half of the North Pacific Ocean, where hurricanes are called typhoons, waters are warm enough the tropical season lasts year-round. So far this year, there have been 5 storms in that basin, 3 in just the last 2 weeks, including Super Typhoon Maysak, which reached Category 5 status, devastating some small islands in Micronesia, where before and after pictures look remarkably like those from Vanuatu. Astronauts aboard the space station, just 250 miles up, captured some extraordinary close-up images of Maysak, showcasing both the chaotic swirls that often dominate the eye of powerful hurricanes, as well as the so-called stadium effect, the tendency for the eye of a strong hurricane to be wider at the top and then narrow as you descend. The first preseason outlook for the Atlantic hurricane season comes out tomorrow. In terms of number of storms, expected to call for an average to slightly below average Atlantic hurricane season. Paul Knight is back next with the extended forecast.